Hello and welcome to another episode of Piano TV. I am Allysia, your host, and today we are going to be talking about rondo form and music. We've tackled other classical era long forms before, like sonata and sonatina form, and rondo is just another one of those. Them classical composers really like their kind of complicated forms. It's not as complicated as I'm making it sound. I actually find rondo form to be really similar to like pop music on the radio nowadays with the verse and the chorus. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to walk you through what the form is, and then we're going to use a really famous example, Beethoven's final movement in his Pathétique sonata. So let's get started. The rondo, or French rondo, the way I'm saying it, you'd have to like actually see the text to tell the difference between, they sound the same. Anyway, they evolved out of the Baroque ritornello. And basically all a ritornello is a chorus, like a main part that all of the instruments play, followed by interspersed episodes with the soloists. And that's basically what a rondo is. It's just like back and forth between these main parts and these episodes. But the difference is with the Baroque ritornello, the main theme, when it came back, it would like come back different or be in different keys. Whereas rondo is more simplistic in that way. When the main theme comes back, it's coming back in like the same key, pretty much in the exact same way. So that would be more like our modern pop song, because if you think about like the chorus or the hook in a pop song, you're hearing that maybe like 3 or 4 times in a piece, maybe even more, depending on the song. Sometimes they get really, really repetitive, and the rondo kind of has that repetition. But that makes it you think that might make it kind of boring, but I think the opposite is true. It makes it more familiar and thus easier to listen to. Here's the terminology you need to know. In a rondo form, you have the theme, which is sometimes called the refrain. This is the main part of a rondo that repeats. And then you have the episode, sometimes called the contrasting theme or digression. These parts change and they go in between the refrains. So rondo form usually looks something like this. A, which is like A is referring to the theme, and then the B and the C are the episodes, and they're different. And then it could also be, it's almost always usually longer, ABA, CABA, where there's a total of 4 themes. And that's like what we're going to be looking at with Beethoven's Sonata Pathétique. You can even have a short version, an ABA, which looks on the surface to be the same as ternary form, but you can usually tell the difference between them by the fact that there's usually like an embedded song form in one of these individual sections. And there also tends to be like more dramatic contrast between parts, whereas regular ternary form doesn't have a lot of like, the A part isn't that different from the B part, but if it's rondo form, they're going to be quite a bit different. But wait, there's more. Of course there's more. This is classical era music we're talking about. Now that you know the rondo form is made up of themes and episodes, let's take a look at what keys and key changes we can expect for those themes and episodes. So what you see here is an outline of the different keys used in a rondo. For example, if our rondo is in the key of C minor, which it is with this Beethoven piece, we can expect the rondo to play out like this. Okay, so the A section is going to be in C minor, which is the 1. And then the B section is either going to be in E flat major or G major. In this one, it's E flat major. And then we return to the A, which again is C minor, because the Roman numeral 1, the first note of C scale, is C. And then our next episode is either going to be in the key of A flat or the key of F major. And then we go back to C minor. In this one, it's A flat. And then our final, like our B section, our new episode, it isn't in C minor, it's actually in C major, because it usually contrasts with, well, in this case, all of the episodes are in major keys. Let's take a look at the sonata in more detail and investigate for ourselves and listen through a few examples. And just to give you a few of the basic details, Beethoven's Sonata Pathétique was composed in 1798 when Beethoven was only 27 years old. It was his 8th piano sonata, opus 13, and I really love his like earlier sonatas, so these are very good. Anyway, that's just getting off on a tangent. But basically, we're going to be taking this third movement and inputting our discussion on rondo form to see how everything all fits together. Here's an excerpt of the main theme, the A section, which you're going to hear 4 times in the entire movement. The last 2 times you hear it, it'll be shortened, but it's overall going to be the exact same notes each time. We're going to take a listen. It's I mean, I'll let you hear for yourselves, but it's basically a catchy little ditty in C minor, the main key of this composition. About half a minute in, after a brief pause, you hear the first episode enter. We have this brief transition in a minor key that will eventually lead us to the happy and sunny key of E flat major. And as such, we have some more like tender sounding moments than the like jumpy minor refrain. It is really brief. It's about, well, all of the episodes are about a minute long before kicking back into the shorter main theme. This is another commonality with rondos in pop music. Not only are verses in pop music usually longer than the chorus, the part that repeats, but everything in general is pretty short and sweet. So that makes it easier to listen to and digest than more complicated forms like, say, sonata form. Anyway, let's have a listen. Leading into the second episode, we have like another kind of pause. This one's a little bit more dramatic, and the entrance into this section is actually very abrupt because we have this giant forte, then a pause, and then we come in really, really quiet into the gentlest part of the entire composition. We have this really nice A flat major ditty, starts off gently, bigger contrast because it's so quiet, but then it builds up and there's this really excellent arpeggiated part. I won't show it to you here, but if you listen to the full version, you'll see what I mean. It's towards the very end of the second episode. It's really attention grabbing. And then we return to the A section again, the main theme, but this time it's short, only 8 bars long. We hit our final episode in C major. This covers the same material as the first episode, but it's a really condensed version. And it's also in the key of C instead of the key of E flat major, so that's a little bit different too. And then after this, we head over to the final refrain, our main chorus that keeps repeating. It's still shorter than the first time, but it's only 12 bars long. And then we're gonna go to the coda, but I'll show you the coda in a moment. Let's take a quick listen to the third episode. And then we have our coda, which is just an ending. It starts off with these really punchy sforzando, like really dramatic. Well, I mean, I don't know why I'm trying to sing it to you. You're going to hear it in, actually, let's not draw this out. Let's listen to it right now. And that is all for today's video on rondo form. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed the music from the Beethoven piano sonata that we listened to, you should definitely check out the full version of the Pathétique sonata. It's very, very good. Very, very challenging. That's a like far in the future goal level piece for sure. Anyway, without further ado, because I'm just probably gonna start rambling, I will catch you guys in the next video. It's yeah, it plays out. The coda just means the ending, and I'm just gonna say all that again.